Your body seeks balance. Excuse me. That is the most important. It's always trying to get back in balance. And once that gets back in balance, a lot of other things get back in balance. Estrogen not only causes growth of the tissue and the lining of the uterus, it causes growth in the breast tissue. And that tissue, when it's not developed properly, that is cancer. Same thing in the uterus. Okay. Estrogen also stores fat, and progesterone helps you to burn fat for energy. There's always a balancing act between almost anything in nature. Okay. So the reason why kids gain weight in puberty is because they can have too much estrogen, okay, and not enough progesterone because they didn't ovulate. Same thing in perimenopause. Ask any woman over 45 or 50. I won't say any woman, the majority of women, they'll tell you that prior to and during menopause, all of a sudden they lost control of their weight. They're doing the same thing they did before, and now they're 20 pounds heavier. And no matter what they do, they cannot get that weight off. Because here's an important point: you cannot diet and exercise your way past a hormone problem. Okay. If you have a hormone problem, I don't care if you eat like a bird and do CrossFit 24/7, you're probably going to gain weight because you've stressed out your body so much. Your body can't produce the right amount of cortisol, so you begin to even gain more weight. All right. So I will tell you that most of the time, the number one and two reason why a woman comes to me because they're frustrated because the doctor keeps telling them they're okay is that they are unable to lose weight and they're not able to sleep. Okay, so that's estrogen causing the fat to store up, and then the progesterone is not there to burn the fat, and it's also not there to calm down their anxiety at night. And these women will say, hey, I just can't turn my brain off at night. It's very hard for me to go to sleep. You can give that if we see that that's out of balance, if you get those back in balance, they can control their weight again, they can sleep again, and then all these other things start to get better. So, Rebel, does that make sense to you?
Yes, it seems like everything needs to be in balance. I'm just a little confused. When you say anxiety or
Yeah.
depression, is that
Hmm.
supposed to be? Because I know me personally, I don't have either one of those
Right.
anytime
Okay.
because it, I just don't. Either I don't understand what they are supposed to be, or
Well,
it becomes
you,
my
you,
normal.
well, you may not be out of balance. Okay. You never ask a woman how old they are, but what age range are you, Rebel? Just give me a
Um,
range.
that's a big secret, Dr.
Give me a
Taylor.
range. Give me a 10-year range, and let me get. I'll guess.
All right,
I, well,
let's just assume a
let me
woman
ask you
of
this.
go
Let
ahead.
me ask you this: are you less than or more than 45? Because that's what I had in that slide.
Well, let's just say in general a woman because no one knows how old I am, but a woman say
Okay.
is in between 45 and 55.
Okay, so okay. I mean, not everybody has a hormone imbalance. Okay, and you're one of those. I don't know, 40% of women who, hey, everything's fine. And let me tell you this: in most countries, they're not having these kind of issues, irregular bleeding, all of this stuff. Our society and our environment and our way of life, and we're going to talk about stress next and cortisol. That's a lot of times it's the underlying cause of these imbalances. That's why first we wrote, "Are your hormones making you sick?" And then after about 3 or 4 years, we start to realize that, hey, look, even when we fix estrogen and progesterone, some of these women still have low energy, can't sleep, tired, worn out. And uh, what we knew about estrogen and progesterone didn't work. Then we understood cortisol. And stress is connected to everything. And when we are in a stressful situation, I mean, you just look at the news and all the things that are going on and all the things that just happen in life. After about 40 or 50 years of living, you've had a lot of stress and it throws off that cortisol curve. And when your cortisol curve, and we're going to show you examples of that when I talk about cortisol curve. So maybe, hey, if you're able to deal with stress and you don't let it disrupt your system, then you may not have an imbalance. Okay. And people who live in countries or cultures that have simpler lives, they don't have perimenopause and menopause and they go and get antidepressants and all that stuff because they're already in balance. Okay, they're in balance with their themselves and they're in balance with their environment. So, Rebel, if you are one of those women who don't have a problem, then great. Okay, that's great. So you may not understand or you may not like connect with what I'm talking about, but I guarantee you there's a lot of women out there because I've seen a lot of them, and I'm telling you, OBGYNs would be extinct if some of these problems didn't exist. And
Well,
I'll
I
tell you,
think that I
mhm.
definitely do, and I'm not saying that by no means I probably fly off the chart with that stress level thing, but, it's it's if you don't know, like, I get asked, "Are you depressed?" "Why should I be?" Or, so no, I'm definitely not depressed, but then they go with the anxiety, I'm like, maybe I'm just not understanding what anxiety's definition is because
Yeah.
I don't think so, but other
Well,
people might think
well,
so.
well, well, I will tell you that anxiety is really what we say un worry that has no reason for it. Okay, if you're standing on the edge of a cliff and you're anxious, that's your body saying, "Hey, don't do that. Don't do that." Your body always wants to survive. So, one of my sayings is that your body wants to live even though you keep trying to kill it. Okay, because we do all kinds of things to harm our body, and some of times those anxious feelings are to tell you that something's wrong. You're killing me. Okay, your body is saying you're killing me. That's why you're anxious. That's why you're in this fight or flight, because you're doing something against nature. You're putting me more out of balance. And so sometimes anxiety and depression is not a symptom, it's really your body trying to send you a message. All right. So that anxiety is telling you you don't have enough progesterone, or your hormones are out of balance, or your cortisol is too high or too low. So you need to take those as messages, and you need to figure out what your body is trying to tell you. And that's what my new uh, uh, goal is to help people interpret those messages that their body is sending them. Okay, so that's how I would explain anxiety and depression. It is really telling you that you're out of balance if you're not living a full vital life. And that's what ageless blueprint is about, is how can we live a full vital life. It's about getting ourselves back in balance and back in harmony with our environment. We are supposed to be in harmony with our environment. We're not supposed to be destroying our environment, trying to rip all the minerals out of it, which takes away our nutrition, try and take away all of the trees so we can build big buildings, so we can make more money. All of that is causing disharmony. And and that is a stress, and that's what's causing a lot of the diseases and conditions that we are dealing with today. So anyway, so we want to look at any symptom as a message that the body is trying to tell us. Okay, if you go out and faint on the street, it may be telling that's your body telling you, hey, you don't have enough glucose, or maybe your blood count is low, or whatever. Everything is a message your body is trying to send to you. So anyway, where did I get off? Okay, uh, we talked about why you need to look at hormones in the saliva, because that's telling you where the action is. Okay, so the two things that people come in and tell you about weight loss, we said, what was on the weight loss, and irregular periods or whatever, and fatigue is the other one. So I want to show you some examples of how hormones and understanding hormones can help you, and I'm going to show you how not understanding hormones can hurt you. Okay, so let's go to the first slide. Okay, so this is like a 53-year-old postmenopausal woman. She has I think she has a stressful job. I think she's taking care of her mother who has Alzheimer's. She's married, she's working. We do telehealth because she's working, all the time. So she came in and said, she's exhausted. She's tired all the time. She has trouble sleeping. She can't stay asleep, and she's just almost burnt out.